Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of TCG Talk, back today with another video. And in today's video, I'm going to be going a little bit more in-depth on Ancestral Harmony, the card that was most recently spoiled in the expansion slot for the Heavy Hitter set. Kind of talk about some different things I see where the card's going to be most useful. There's been some different opinions on the card, not so much negative, but just like some people think it's better than other people think. And I just want to kind of talk about like the floor and the ceiling of the card as I see it and where I think the card's going to go as a Ninja player. And kind of get into it. So if you're new to the channel, welcome. Thank you so much for stopping by. Hopefully you enjoy your stay. Feel free to check out my other videos. I do a lot of Flesh and Blood content as well as some Alpha Clash content, which I'll be starting up as well when I get back home this weekend. If you're a long-standing supporter. Thank you so much as always. Feel free to check out the Discord down below as well as access now to my channel membership. It's basically like a Twitch sub if you want to support the channel a different way. Channel members get access to my videos a day early typically, unless I make like a snap video like this. And it's also just another way to show support to the channel. Any revenue I make off the channel either goes back into the channel specifically to buy product for like box openings and giveaways or to help travel to events. So I really appreciate that. But we'll get right into it. Last note, today will be the last day you'll see me in this like makeshift setup I'm in. I'm still on the Apple headphones on the laptop. I'm at home right now for anyone that's not aware. Getting some stuff done for my move next month when I move here back to Virginia. So I'll be back on the studio mic tomorrow. I'll be in a lot better spot. So thank you for bearing with me with this quality. But we'll get right into it. Ancestral Harmony. There's been some different opinions on this card. I was super excited about this card. Obviously, you saw my video yesterday. I think this card's great. Does this card propel Katsu into like, hyper turbo LL status? You know what I mean? No, it doesn't. But it does make the deck even better. And I'll kind of talk about it. So some opinions of this card is it's cracked. It's like +5 but +4 value on a good turn, blah, blah, blah. And then some opinions, which are valid, is at worst, this card could just mill the top card of your deck and only give you like +1 value and basically is like a crappy Art of War, right? Or not even like a crappy Art of War, right? So I think a couple things. One, let's talk about the ceiling and the floor of this card. So the ultimate floor of this card is when you don't play it, right? Which still is just fine in Katsu. It is a blue block 3 that costs 0. You can use it to discard for Katsu. You can use it to pitch for Kodachis. And it blocks 3, right? It just automatically does everything Katsu naturally wants to do with his blues, right? So that's the ultimate floor. The other floor, and the floor of this card, in my opinion, is if you play it incorrectly. And we'll talk about like what I think the correct way to play this card is here in a second. But if you play it incorrectly, which is a 4-card hand, let's say you have this isn't like a horrible time to play it, but it's not ideal in my opinion. Let's say you have a blue, another blue, or yellow, doesn't matter, whatever you need to pitch for surging. You have this card, you have Whelming Gust Wave, and Surging Strike. So you have a 4-card hand, Surging Strike, Whelming Gust Wave, let's just say a blue, and this card. You play this card, it banishes the top card of the deck. Let's say it's not a combo card. Let's say you banish a Warmonger's Diplomacy. Just going to do a random card here. Actually, we'll make a worse situation. Let's say you banish a Surging Strike. So you banish a power card that you need that's not combo. So you can't play it, and you just milled a threat out of your deck, which is not good. Then you play out Surging Strike, right? Or you probably Kodachi for 1 with the blue, then play Surging Strike for 5, then play Whelming Gust Wave for 5, go again on hit, draw a card. So you got basically +1 value out of the card, and you milled away a power card. That is a feels bad, 100%. The thing is, I don't think you're playing this card in that situation, because I've seen a lot of people say, like, this is just a crappy Art of War. And yes, so, like, in that situation I just named, it might be better to Art of War, or it might be better to Arsenal Art of War, actually. You wouldn't even play the Art of War in that situation. But, like, yes, I can see in certain situations where the value is very risky. The thing about this card is its ceiling is insane, and I think its ceiling isn't even like a Christmas, Santa Claus line. Its ceiling is just, how do I put this? Either it's an Arsenal or in hand, doesn't matter, and it's a 5-card hand, and you have a natural combo line in hand. So let's just say, for argument's sake, you Arsenal the Bonds of Ancestry, and then you have Surging Strike, Descendant Gust Wave, this card, and a blue, right? In that situation, because a lot of people are comparing this to Art of War. First off, I don't think you, before we get into that situation, sorry, I don't think you should compare this to Art of War. I think they play differently. I think when you have the natural combo line in hand, I would rather see this card because I don't, because when you have the natural combo line in hand, like what I just said, let's say I had Bonds in Arsenal, Surging Strike in hand, with Descendant Gust Wave, a blue, and Art of War. In that situation, if Art of War is in hand, or even if Art of War was in Arsenal and Bonds was in hand, I can't really use the Banish Draw 2 unless I have Tunic, because I don't want to risk. I'm not going to. If I have the natural combo line, if I have Surging Descendant Bonds in hand, I don't need to Banish Draw 2. I don't want to Banish Draw 2 because then I risk drawing into, like, I don't know, an Ancestral and a Warmongers, or, like, you know what I mean, like something that's not the combo line, right? So you really, in that situation, at best, you're just going to use the Art of War to give +1/+1 and, like, go again, right, to your next attack or whatever, right? Which doesn't feel good. You have to pitch another resource to do that. So it doesn't really net you anything. And it doesn't net you another card, but it does net you +1 for the rest of the turn. So you still would get the value off that. In that situation, I'd rather have an Ancestral Harmony in hand, which is where I think the ceiling of this card is. The ceiling of this card is having it on a 5-card hand when you have the natural combo line. Because, like, same situation. Bonds and Arsenal. Then in hand we have Ancestral Harmony, Surging Strike, Descendant Gust Wave, and a blue. Let's just say a blue. What you're able to do is play Ancestral Harmony first, and you have two situations happen. One, you banish like 100 wins and you get another combo card to play with, or you banish, like in that situation, Dishonor, which is really good, and then you have another combo card you can play, and then you just play out your turn. You play Kodachi, Surging Strike for 5, Descendant Gust Wave for now 6, Bondsman Ancestry for now 5. Go get at some point maybe you pop Breeze. Go get Fluster Fist. Play that for 5. Then you can play out like the card from Banish, whatever that card may be. Let's just say it's 100 wins for 4. So you just got +1 on Descendant, +1 on Bonds, +1 on Fluster, +1 on 100 wins. Or maybe you didn't even pop Breeze. You played the 100 wins first, right? So you got +4 value off this card without having to draw. So you netted a card and you got +4 value over the course of your turn. Or even in a more, now this is when you get in the Santa Claus line, where maybe you banish a Whelming Gust Wave off the top of the deck, and then you're able to play something like Surging, pitch the blue to Surging, Descendant, Bonds. You pop Breeze at some point during that time because one of them's going to hit. You go get a Whelming, or go get a Bonds with your Bonds, play the Whelming from Banish, then play Bonds again, then play something else. And in that situation, you're getting +1, +2, +3, +4, +5 value off this card and netting a card, right? You're getting +5 value from its buff, plus the extra value from what you banish, which in this case it's a Whelming, that's 4 value. So you're literally getting 9 value off this card at its height. Now, granted, that is a perfect situation, but that's the ceiling of the card. And so there's certain situations, I think, where Art of War is better, where you're trying to fix your hand, right, while buffing and draw into that combo line, or draw into another 0 cost so you can discard with Katsu. That is better, and the combat trick aspect of Art of War. Where this is better is when you have the natural combo line. And honestly, maybe it's different for other Katsus, but in the Bonds list, you naturally have your combo line a lot. Like, you naturally have 2 to 3 pieces of your combo line, if you're not being disrupted, pretty consistently. So that's where I think that this card can really shine. And when you start talking about it, like, if it's, let's say its average value on a turn is +2, okay, I have a +2 value card that potentially can net me another card that also is a blue block 3 that's 0 cost that I can pitch for Kodachis and use as a Katsu discard trigger. Right? Like, it already does 3 things that Art of War doesn't do. It pitches better, it's a blue. It blocks. Art of War doesn't block for 3. It can pitch to Kodachis, Art of War can't do that. And it can use as a discard trigger for Katsu. So it's already way more flexible than Art of War is. And I'm not saying you replace this with Art of War. You run both. But I'm just giving you context of, like, this has a ceiling to be better than Art of War in certain situations. And it has the way more flexibility than Art of War does, right? So I think the card is very, very good. I think it's like a very good arsenal target. I think it's a very good card to have in natural combo lines, especially if you're running stuff like Heart and Cross Trap and you haven't used that yet. Like, even on a 4-card hand, like if your hand is Surging, Whelming, Bonds, or Surging, Whelming 0 cost, and then this, and you have Heart and Cross Strap up, there's a argument to play this, see what you banish off top card of your deck, pop Heart and Cross Strap, play the Surging for free, play out your combo line for like +3, +4 value. So really, really good. I think the card's cracked. Is it, like I said, is it going to make Katsu like this ultimate, he's now going to speed run to LL? No. I think he's a good deck. He's in the meta. I think he's like, there's like, right now, in my opinion, there's like 6 to 7 decks that all are just really good. And I think he's up there. I think he's probably the best aggro deck in the game when you take into account how he plays against the whole field. I think he's the best aggro deck in the game. Obviously, there's certain aggro matchups like Dio and stuff that are like 50-50, but I do think like across the whole spread, he's probably the best aggro deck in the game. Yeah, that's my thought. Hopefully, it gives you a little more context on this card. That's my initial thoughts. I'm definitely gonna test with the card, and hopefully, once I test with it, I can give you some more like intricate lines and things that I'm thinking. But generally, what I just went over is where I see the ceiling and the floor of the card, and hopefully, that gives more clarity on how I think you should use this card going in the future. Do not replace this card with Art of War. This isn't a replacement for Art of War. You run both if you can, if you have the money and you have the full list. Yeah. Hopefully this made sense. If it did, please leave a like, comment, subscribe. If you disagree, that's totally fine too. Let me know in the comments. I love discussing this type of stuff, especially Ninja. I'm going to be trying to do more Ninja content here. Get back to my roots a little bit this year with the Ninja stuff. And yeah, kind of go from there. But thank y'all so much. Y'all have a good rest of your week. Stay safe, and I'll see y'all next time on TCG Talk. Thank y'all so much.